What is a good high school senior prank that doesn't create more work for the janitors? My senior year I bought about 100 rubber duckies and hid them around the school. On the bottom of each ducky I attached a little note that said congratulations. Return me to administrator to claim your prize. My vice principal was so dang confused. We hid garden gnomes everywhere. Wish we'd thought about the prize thing. A couple of years ago at my school, the seniors all brought pillows, blankets, sleeping bags, etc. and started setting up beds and going to sleep during a passing period. Also, a kid snuck in a vacuum cleaner and started vacuuming the halls. For our senior prank we snuck outside the middle of November at 2 AM and built a huge ice wall in front of the school's double doors. 5 guys with shovels just piling up snow and watering it down with liters of water out of water bottles. The next day the school was soapy we had blocked an emergency exit and we ended up having to do 8 hours community service each because one of the guys ratted us out. All I remember is sitting in the office and teachers coming up and congratulating us for the smart prank. They even held a fundraiser to get it taken down by the administration and raised $750. And the principal and vice principal took it down with ice picks. When the principal brought us into discipline she said we could get the police involved. This is technically vandalism and one of my buddies, God bless him, said that was before you held a fundraiser. Otherwise you've been making money on crime. Totally worth 8 hours. We just went to the mustard seed and made sandwiches for a day. I like a prank that hurts nobody, uses skill or effort as a resource and takes longer to take down than it does to set up. And nothing was damaged and nobody got hurt. My high school principal collected Pez dispensers, like had hundreds going back years, was in the paper for it and stuff. One year the seniors kidnapped all of them, put blindfolds on the most important ones and photographed them with notes for ransom. Silly stuff like an extra 10 minutes in our morning break for a week. He eventually got them all back, and he was awesome about the whole thing. Appreciated their creativity. He is still, an amazing guy. I graduated 17 years ago and am still in contact with him. Reminds me of the time someone I know kidnapped the principal's daughter, who was 10 or something at the time, and made the principal extend their lunch. Was a senior last year. We brought our dogs to school. Our principal was a huge dog person. He would bring his dogs to school sometimes and he had dog food and bowls in his office. So if someone's dog disrupted class they would just bring it to the principal's office. It was probably the best day of his life. Love this one. Audio pranks are the best for being annoying but non-destructive. I helped one senior class set up a huge speaker locked in the clock tower, and they remotely controlled it all day to play songs, loud noises, all kinds of stuff. Highly effective, no mess, lots of laughs and annoyance. We tried organizing a rave in a bathroom, but it kind of lost its power of rebellion when the principal joined in and started dancing. We had a pretty cool principal. I don't think there will ever be a better way to stop teens from doing something silly than for adults to join in. My brother's class pranked a rival high school football team. Not exactly a senior prank, but they planted a tree in the middle of their football field. This would work better with bamboo, as some species can grow 3 feet in one day. Actually that'd be pretty entertaining. My mom's high school seniors, in the late 70s, took a VW bug apart and put it back together over the school emblem in the front foyer. The mechanic class got extra credit for taking it apart and putting it back together outside. In my school they disassembled a car and reassembled it around one of the columns holding the school building. Then they filled the passenger area with soil and put some plants in it. Was a nice idea, but the car was very ugly and got demolished over the years, so in the end it was a work for the janitors again. My favorite school prank I've heard of was where all the seniors gathered in a circle in the middle of the caf or somewhere populated and pretended like there was a huge fight going on, and when the teacher's admin come to break it up there's just 2 guys in the middle playing chess. I've heard similar. Massive crowd all shouting fight, 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 fight. When the teacher principal gets to the middle of the crowd to break it up, it's 2 backpacks sitting on the ground next to each other. For our senior prank, we had a student who worked in the office make copies of hall passes. There was a color system. Each day had a different color. So she printed out 500 or so hall passes in green on a pink day and we stacked them in the bathrooms and the freshman hallways. Anarchy ensued with almost every freshman getting sent to the office for carrying invalid hall passes. It was amazing. In high school, the Parents Club sponsored a sober post-prom party every year. Our senior year they distributed flyers and mailed home info to the parents directing them to specific URL. The URL was incorrect, so several friends and I purchased the domain and made a site all about a drunken post-prom party, supervised beer bong races, beer pong tournament, etc. School flipped out and had to contact all the parents about the mistake. We never got caught, even after publishing threatening emails from our deans on the homepage. No damage done, no one hurt except the embarrassed administrators. I'd say it was a success. Overall, you just have to be creative and come up with something unique. When an opportunity like that presents itself, you are almost obligated to take it. My brother-in-law connected a tape recorder to the intercom loop, all concealed in a suspended ceiling, and recorded class announcements. Then they sampled them and made a mixtape that started out with the regular sounding announcements but degraded into people impersonating the principal, music, jokes, etc. They rigged the tape to play using a TV remote and abandoned it. The amp in the tape player was bigger than that in the office intercom system, so the staff couldn't switch it off or drown it out. Since nobody knew where it was, the choice was to shut off electricity and close school or grin and bear it. It might still be there for all we know. All the senior saxophone players in our band went to their favorite teacher's classroom and played Careless Whisper simultaneously. I read about a school where for the senior prank, they hired a mariachi band to follow the principal around all day. When everyone shakes the principal's hand, they hand him a bouncy ball. Yeah, it's old and cliche, but honestly it is pretty funny and cool when everyone takes part. We did something similar, but instead of going for the handshake we pulled it into a bro hug and put stickers on his back. He caught on after a bit, but it was entertaining. My sticker was a pony. We got all of my classmates to fork out a few bucks. Then we got to school early enough to completely block off the teacher parking lot with our cars. We brought grills, chairs, cornhole, a volleyball net, etc. and grilled out all day. All the jealous underclassmen watched sadly from the classroom windows. Eventually teachers joined us during their lunch breaks and we shared our burgers and hot dogs. It was fun, didn't get us in trouble, and the teachers pulled around with us like adults, which was kind of cool. Sounds like you had a pretty chill staff. This would have lasted all of 6 minutes at my high school. Hire a mime to follow your principal around and make fun of his actions. Did this to a friend for his going away party at a bar. He was peeved because there was no way he'd be going home with a girl that night. My brother's class advertised a garage sale at the school. The whole day there was an endless parade of little old ladies looking for a deal. I've posted this before, but when I was a freshman the seniors ran a giant 6-foot inflatable penis up the flagpole right when everyone was arriving to school. No harm, no foul, but it was hilarious as heck. At my school everyone gave the vice principal a penny as they walked across the stage to get their diploma. They never wore belts and that he'd pocket them because what the frick else do you do? It was just a waiting game. It was just a waiting game. FTFY. For my school's senior prank the guys and girls switched units. The girls were supposed to wear skirts and the guys had to wear ties, so girls and guys borrowed each other's skirts and ties. That was fun. Ties make terrible pants. Must have been one of those progressive schools. Buy lockpicks online from Amazon, a large dildo, wooden slabs, and gold spray paint. Break into the trophy cabinet and leave a new item to the school's historic collection of trophies. As to fix but hilarious if they don't notice for a while. I like this one. It's kind of subtle. Like, people probably don't notice it right away. Then it's the wait. Is that, oh, reaction that just makes it. We did a senior scooter day where all the seniors rode scooters literally everywhere. Our rulebook banned bicycles, skateboards, rollerblades, and whatnot, but it did not say scooters, so I printed off a bunch of pages, handed it to everybody and said to show it to anyone who threatened to get them in trouble. I went to a no-nonsense school so it was lots of fun. Sodomite, my buddy took an official letter from the principal and made a formal message requiring all males to go to his office and get their dong size official recorded by the principal. He put it all over the school and parents got pretty angry. Sodomite would pull a prank like that. Class of 2006. I bought 2006 bouncy balls and we dumped them off the balcony overlooking the lunchroom onto the underclassmen below. All the underclassmen picked up the bouncy balls so there was no cleanup afterwards. In my high school we did a freeze. It wasn't the senior prank but it was awesome. All the students knew when to freeze in the hallways at passing time at the second bell between 4th and 5th hour. Everyone just froze where they were in the halls until the last bell. I once made a program that would open the disk tray on a computer toggle every hour. They tried everything to stop it, they ended up just jamming it with a chair. My school had a lie down. We have one hallway on our second floor that bottlenecks due to an elevator they put in. It's only one line of people both ways that can fit, and basically between periods the seniors all just laid down on the floor to block the way. I had some friends our senior year who tried to run a fictional freshman for class president. After they got found out, they started posting flyers announcing him as candidate for Speaker of his house. I'm still pretty proud of this one. We collected a lot of P magazines, cut out thousands of pictures, broke into the library one night and put the pictures randomly between pages of hundreds of books. I still like to think that even today, people are still discovering our prank. We were going to make a really convincing Photoshop of the principal in some gay pee or cross-dressing and hide a few hundred of those in the library books. We chickened out and didn't do it because they had cameras in the library. During a staff meeting, we lifted as many of the staff cars as we could into the school lobby. Nothing was broken, but they had a heck of a time getting out 15 cars as all the exits had stairs. At times like this I wish I grew up in the age of smartphones. Then I remember all the dumb crap I've done that would have been recorded and I'm glad I didn't grow up with smartphones. My favorite one from my senior year was a grill out. We got a couple grills on the roof of the school. Then around 11 AM, all the senior found their way to the roof and just chilled for an hour or two. If we had something important to do we left, but it was amazing. For those of you familiar with the penis game, where you yell penis as loud as you can without getting in trouble, you may find this interesting. During a pep rally, I got everyone in my grade to yell penis in front of the whole school, in the deep American South. During pep rallies, we always had to yell the abbreviation of our school. Each grade yelled a different letter. The letter yelled before ours was P, so we beautifully added the subsequent nis after. The class yelling P had no idea that they were part of our plot, and essentially half of the school yelled penis for 1-2 minutes. This was my sophomore year, however, not my senior year. Result, no more pep rallies for the year, and we almost cost the seniors their senior pep rally. Not exactly a senior prank, but one morning, some redneck hillbilly apparently found a random chicken on the side of the road and decided to bring it to school with him. Kid released the chicken into the upstairs male bathroom. Chaos ensued. Kid got suspended. Now, there is a permanent chicken crossing sign in that hallway. The people over 18 went to a local convenience store and bought a bunch of P magazines. They then went into the library and hid them in the magazine stacks. I'm pretty certain that the librarian found them all that morning. The prank was pretty obvious, since one of them was in the current issues rack complete with that big plastic binder. I have two stories, one a good example and one bad. The bad. My graduating class was made up of a bunch of douchebags. Our school had one road leading into the school for maybe 5 blocks, and the same one road leading out. Their senior prank was to dress up as snails and walk in the street, as slowly as possible, to hold up traffic. It wasn't funny, it wasn't cool, it was 10 or 12 dickheads making everyone late for finals and taking time away from the parents who had to drop their kids off. The good. My older brother's graduating class was much better. A fight broke out in the main courtyard. Everyone formed a tight crowd around the two in the middle. So tight, in fact, that the faculty had trouble pushing the crowd out of the way, and it took minutes to get to the center. While the adults were trying to break it up, the crowd just got more and more crazy, rooting on the combatants. When the staff finally got to the fight, here's what they saw. In the middle of the mass of screaming, rooting students, they found an apple and a banana. My senior class did a week of anti-pranks. Each senior would bring in an item and just carry it around all day. One day it was a banana, the next a gallon of water, the next a baseball, and so on. Never did anything with them, but the faculty freaked out and started confiscating everything. They probably had 500 bananas in the office on the first day. Pretty funny. My buddies and I created the Fine Dining Society. We meticulously planned a 3-course fine dining meal in the cafeteria at lunch. 2 of the guys were in the culinary arts class. One is a sous chef at a Michelin restaurant. Made our meal. 2 freshmen were our waiters. We dressed up in tuxedos. We brought dates. We had a friend play violin while we ate. Pretty much the entire cafeteria watched us enjoy our meal and we made it into the yearbook. I'm from California, where golden poppies are illegal to remove. So we planted a dong-shaped garden of golden poppies in the quad. We found a 1980s high school photo of our principal. He had the best mullet ever. We made about 500 copies, and when he was gone to lunch, we taped them all over the school. I mean everywhere. Even on the stop sign outside. We also had 3x5 posters made. We got shirts made with the same picture that said business in the front, party in the back with his face screen on them. He was wildly embarrassed, but he was cool about it. Oh, and also, about 10 of us guys camped in his front yard with tents, and someone brought a grill and we cooked breakfast for him and his family. All in good fun. Oh, and also, about 10 of us guys camped in his front yard with tents and someone brought a grill and we cooked breakfast for him and his family. That's actually really nice. It was tradition at my high school to make life heck for janitors and underclassmen by trashing the grounds the night before finals week began. My class was the first to matriculate at our new school after our former facilities burned down. A state-of-the-art building, enormous parking lots dotted with saplings, pristine athletic fields, a beautiful place to demolish with crude artwork and mixed media, mainly chalk, window paint, and eggs. The night went as planned. Various cohorts assembled at dusk and began to ransack the property. Laughter and rolls of toilet paper cascaded through the warm evening air. Benches and garbage cans were upended. Vertical surfaces announced the work of the senior class, and obscenities in block letters jigsawed their way onto enormous windows like the signatures in a yearbook. After an hour or 2 of chaos, the work was done. High fives were given and overstuffed cars peeled out one by one. We imagined our triumphant return the following morning. The school was ours. Monday dawned. Buses hissed to a stop in the long, winding drive. Hundreds of our classmates tumbled out of carpools and kissed parents goodbye, begrudgingly approaching the days of tests that lay ahead. And not one of them noticed a thing. The school was as spotless as it was on our first day of freshman year. The seniors wore quizzical expressions. Texts flew like wildfire. The janitors must have come in overnight. The place was apocalyptic 8 hours ago. The paint was gone. The eggs washed from the acres of glass. Every square of toilet paper vanished from its perch. Hundreds of trees perfectly still, unadorned. Turns out my friends and I had a prank of our own. It took until dawn, but it was worth it. The class Q year older than mine filled the parking lot with nails. So the administration was watching us super closely to make sure we didn't do something so stupid. We all showed up at school at about 5 AM one day, blocked off the senior parking lot, and turned it into a luau. Hawaiian shirts, shorts, a couple people brought grills, other people brought your dogs and burgers and buns, chips, you name it. We covered a big portion with tarps, then dumped sand on it to make a beach. There were games on the sand, though I forget what they were, and somebody even came with his truck bed lined with a tarp and filled with water. There was even a guy who's a DJ who brought his equipment with big speakers and lights, and he played music. One by one, every administrator that showed up came to see what the heck was going on. So we'd cook them a hot dog and take a selfie with them. Then they'd go into school chuckling to themselves. When school started, we all went to class, and throughout the day you had a study hall or something you'd go help clean up. And by the time school was over, it was cleaned up completely. Not only did we do a harmless prank, but we had a blast doing it, and sent a message to the younger classes that you can make a good prank completely harmless. And apparently teachers still talk about our senior luau, according to my little sister. We did this my senior year. Get a rock and a coconut and gather all the seniors in the busiest area of the school to circle around the rock and the coconut and chant fight. Wait until school administrator intervenes and looks stupid. I'm not sure it was the administrator looking stupid there. Find the good comedy writers in your school and have them write a special edition school newspaper that's just satire stories a la The Onion, but lampooning the faculty and students too. Print out a crapload of copies, put in cardboard boxes, have enough people in on it so that you can assign each person a box. All arrive early to school on the day of the prank. Pull the boxes from lockers right before a bell and just leave them in the middle of the hallway, open. Try not to be seen by faculty. People will be curious and take one to read it. Start showing others, etc. until everyone's pulling the papers out and reading it. Swear all the insiders to secrecy and resist the temptation to tell others about the plan until long afterwards. Sees box in hallway, walks past box. Find phone in an uncommon remote area and the kid who runs the morning announcements. Small speaker and CD player. Call into the PA system and play some tunes. Our principal admitted to hating jazz. There was a phone in a men's faculty room with a couch. I hid an old CD player with a data disc of 10 hours of jazz, a speaker and the phone under the couch. It played for about an hour before they shut off the PA system. Some rule must have forced them to turn it back on cause it came on and played another hour or two before they figured it out. Teachers loves it. Didn't damage any property and favor everyone some fun during the day. 5 rolls of scotch tape. 5 friends. 100 sheets of paper hung in every hallway as quickly as possible. Printed in very small type in the center it reads, "Don't forget 11:35 at 11:35 you get to decide what happens. You know, if you're not in police questioning." If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.